Jericho, Sega Master System or Nintendo Entertainment System? Which one's best? You're probably right not to answer. Hey there, real gamers and gatekeepers. The creative juices are not flowing today, so you know what that means. It's time for another collection video. However, this time it's a collection video that I don't think I've ever shown you. It's my Sega Master System collection. Now here's something interesting. The Sega Master System is the second, it's interesting to me. The Sega Master System is the second game system I ever owned. My parents did buy me Atari 2600 like in the early 80s, but after that they weren't real keen on me owning video game dedicated systems. So after that it was basically computers. I think they bought me a Commodore 64 and they bought me an Apple II GS after that. So after the Atari 2600, no more video game systems, just computers. So I was on my own for buying them. I could not afford an NES. What I could afford, however, at least in 1988, was a cut rate, on sale, Sega Master System. And that's exactly what I bought. And I totally blame that for my lack of dates in high school. Yeah, that was it. Alright, let's get started looking at my collection. To start with, here's my Sega Master System. Look at that, Sega Master System Power Base. So you know it's powerful. The power button, nice little light up here. I like this look. It's a good 80s future look. Takes both cartridges and cards, like a TurboGrafx 16 card. It doesn't run TurboGrafx 16 obviously, but it's a lot like that card. I've got one game card. I very seldom saw those in stores. Here's my controller. One of the annoying things about the controller is if you look, the cable comes off the right side of it, which means it's right in the way of your hand when you're holding it, especially if you have big hands. Pain in the butt. I do have two of these controllers. I keep one of them in storage. Nobody ever wants to play this game system with me. No, I'm just kidding. I just tend to keep my second controllers in there, unless I play them two-player a lot. But anyway, I think it's very attractive looking. The processor for this is the Zilog Z80, which incidentally is the same one used up here in the ColecoVision. Right there. It was also used in CPM and several other computers, CPM based, sorry, and several other computers of the time period. Not the Commodore 64 though. Alright. Let's look at what the graphics look like real quick. I'm just going to show you a couple games. I'm not going to play them, but just show the attract screen so you get an idea of what it's capable of. And here's R-Type. Looks pretty darn great on this system. Again, graphically speaking, I think it looks slightly better than the NES. Just nice, you know? This game plays really well. I mean, R-Type is a really good game on this system. Highly recommend it. Probably my second most played game, right under Montezuma's Revenge. Here we have Space Harrier on it, and this is a perfectly acceptable version of Space Harrier. I think it's almost up there with the Amiga version, to be honest. I mean, maybe not quite there. I shouldn't be... I shouldn't overdo it, but it's a pretty solid version of Space Harrier. It looks nice, and it plays pretty well as well. You know, not amazing, but pretty good. And one last one, here's Altered Beast. Looking a little rough. This is definitely not like up to the Genesis level of gameplay. It also looks like it's playing a little skippy if you look at it. But you know, I still think graphically better than what the NES was doing most of the time during that time period. Again, not amazing, but big sprites, not terrible looking. Alright, let's actually look at what games I have in my collection. Alright, we're going to start with the loose games. First one is Transbot, which I've never played. I assume it's a transforming robot game. Never even put it in yet. I think it would have been really cool if these would have caught on with like mini games that they could have added to the covers of magazines and such. That would have been really, really cool, but was not to be, so far as I know. Next, we've got Outrun. Perfectly acceptable version of Outrun. Nothing really wrong with it. I mean, you know, it's better than the Spectrum version. Yeah, I'll probably get some hate for that one. Space Harrier 3D. This did have a 3D capability. It had like these 3D goggles, and you could play some games in 3D, and this is one of them. They'd be marked as 3D. One of the early examples of that. And I think I've witnessed the headset for this, and it wasn't too bad. I don't know if you've ever seen the one for the Vectrex, but man, that thing, it's got a fan that could take your face off. Especially the hack one. We got one of those laying around in my group. R-Type, I showed you a couple seconds of gameplay of that earlier. Really good, competent version. Have nothing bad to say about it. A very nice game. Nothing wrong with that one. Next, Montezuma's Revenge. And yet again, another great addition to this game. And you can see, like, you know, again, it had a lot of great games for it. That said, none of these games, none of these, right? Yeah, none of these are games that I actually had back in the day. I only had I had this kind of thing. There was a double cartridge, Hang On, and Astro Warrior. By the way, my Sega also has a couple games built into it. I think one of them is Hang On, as I recall. So if you just turn it on with nothing in it, it'll come up to a game. And then the other one was a shooter game for use with a light gun, which of course doesn't work on my LCD TV. Next we have Shinobi. Apparently I paid $7.99 for it at some point. Very nice. Alright, now let's get to the exciting part, which is the box stuff.
Warning, radiation at unsafe levels.
Most of my box games I got, like, in a lot of games, there might have been like one Sega Master System game in it, or maybe a couple of them, and they just came along for the ride. And that's how I got most of my Master System stuff that I have now. Here's Altered Beast. You know, even in the 80s, I did not actually care for this style. They did this with the Genesis too, as I recall. They had this, like, this grid in the background. It reminded me of school, so I didn't think much of it. And here we have Altered Beast. Zoom in on it a little bit. I actually showed you some gameplay earlier, but there's what it looks like. And, you were a Roman centurion. You died bravely in battle. Now 100 years later, you've been called back from the grave by Zeus, god of thunder. Awesome. Wise from the grave. I don't know why the Genesis version sounded a little odd. Alright, there we go. Unfortunately, I don't have the manual for that one. Next, I know, I'm going through a couple that you've already seen here. Here's Space Harrier. A little bit beat up, took some water damage. Again with that kind of gridded look. And then here's a little bit of the screen. There you go. Back up a little bit. You are Harrier, the resourceful extraterrestrial warrior, and space is your battlefield. Your mission is to save the land of the dragons from vicious creatures led by the vile and crafty one-eyed mammoth. I gotta go on. Jeez. Astro Warrior, the Mega Cartridge. I haven't played this one yet. I should do a gameplay on this. This one looks kind of interesting. It looks like my kind of jam. Here, take a look at this. See? Nice. I like this kind of thing. Yep. Yet again, there's no manual inside. But, you know, looks good. Astro Warrior pits you against the enemy's fleet of superpowered spaceships and ultimately the invincible master ship. Well, if it's invincible, why bother? I'll still try it though. Next, here we go. Getting serious here. Rampage. 2 mega power. What the heck? Jeez. Way to go, Activision. Let's see, do I got the manual in this one? I have a penchant for not having... Look at that! It's got a manual for it! Here, wait. It's not full color, though. Sorry to say, just kind of a plain one. Let's get that back in. I do not want to wreck it. Don't wreck it. There we go. Okay, good. Cartridge even looks interesting. Well, it's coming up a little bit. Looks pretty solid. Look at that. Nice. Nice screenshot. Haven't played this one yet, although this one I might do a gameplay on too one of these days. I have recording equipment for this kind of game system, stuff that has composite out, so it's no problem to do those. Anyway, smash and trash with 2 mega power. Mass destruction has never been so much fun, and arcade superstars Ralph the Wolf, George the Ape, and Lizzie the Lizard makes a riotous wrecking crew. So go wild, crunch the concrete, trash a trolley, snack on a soldier. Have an office building for lunch. Go on a rampage. That was actually really good. I liked the description on that one. And yeah, looks pretty good. Trying to do more gameplays. So that might be a good candidate as well, because I like Rampage. I've played a lot of versions of it too over the years. Alex Kidd and Lost Stars. Another one of the greats for this. Before there was Sonic, there was Alex Kidd. I almost said Alex Trebek. Jeez. Midlife, man. The worst thing about midlife is that you know your memory's going. I can't wait till I hit the point in my life where I just don't even know anymore. That'll be better. Anyway, look at this. Graphically speaking, that's a winner, right? All right. Anyway, Alex Kidd, The Lost Stars, a 2 mega cartridge. What does anybody know what's up with the 2 mega marketing? Is this like blast processing? I'm not a real expert in this particular area. I should have looked it up before the video, but if you know, let me know down below. Anyway, the kid is back. It's Alex, the little prince with big ears and unlimited courage. When danger threatens the miracle world of Ares, Alex Kidd is there to meet any challenge. Looks good. I think I did play this a couple times, enjoyed it. Never got back to it. That's pretty common for me. I think you probably know that by now. Next we have Thunder Blade. This one was a game I really, really liked. And, you know, I should have came back to it. I'm gonna have those regrets a lot. Anyway, should I? Did I get a manual with this? Should have checked it. There you go. I did get a manual with it. Boy, these manuals are, again, not... I don't know if this is a later thing as the platform started to kind of go to heck. Did we start not getting color manuals? Alright, sorry about that. Back to the Thunderblade. I was going to open it up and look for a manual. Don't have it. Somebody put part of an anarchy symbol, maybe? Oh, maybe they're saying AJ. Maybe this was AJ's. AJ, if you're out there, I've got your copy of Thunderblade. Apparently... Or if you're an anarchist, apparently I have your Thunderblade. One of the two. Alright, graphically speaking, looks pretty good. Used to like this game quite a bit. And, there we go. Get ready to take part in the greatest helicopter battle of the century with Thunderblade, the Sega arcade hit. You're the gunship gladiator. You fly the Thunderblade chopper. Okay. Some say you're unstoppable. This mission will put you to the test. Well, maybe I should put him after the boss in Astro Warrior, since he's unstoppable and the Master Ship's invincible. Maybe they'll cancel each other out. What do you think of that? I think it's a good plan. That's Bob logic right there. All right, Rastin. Another popular game in the arcades. I was not huge into this game, though some of my friends were. I didn't run into it in the arcades I frequented, so I didn't play it much, but some of my friends tell me, oh, I remember it in the arcade, it was great. I went to the same ones, so Anyway, that's how it turns out. No manual on this one. Happy to have the box, so it's a nice looking box, other than the grid. Yeah, there we go. All right. A little bit more art there. And here we go. You are Rastin, an iron-muscled barbarian from the cold Northlands. A bounty hunter by trade. You fear no man or dark slavering beast. Slavering or slavering? I don't know. For you are a master of every edged weapon. Now a king has given you a quest. Rescue his daughter from the deepest reaches of Simia, or something, a land where even villains fear to tread. Succeed, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams shall be the reward. But, you know, this looks like fun stuff to play on the system, right? This also kind of emphasizes Sega's early focus on arcade. Kind of that old school ethos, which Nintendo really didn't focus that much on their arcade games. On their they did have them, not on their handhelds, on their home machines. They did have conversions, but they really focused on making the home its own experience, which is kind of a different philosophy in gaming. That shows especially later on in consoles. Sega's focus on arcade really becomes big, you know, about the time of the Saturn and the Dreamcast. But anyway, Double Dragon. The art there is questionable. Art quality is questionable on that one. Just the game. Here's some screenshots. It actually reminds me kind of the Nintendo version. Not much more amazing than that. Alright. It's 2-player Double Dragon for your Sega system, just like the arcade. In a city destroyed by war and crime, you count on each other to survive. You are Billy and Jimmy Lee, the twins they call the Spike and the Hammer. Wow. When it comes to martial arts, you're both street lethal. Leaping kicks, knee smashes, judo throws. You are the masters. Very nice. Alright, we are now on the last game. And this is actually one I bought by itself just because I used to love it on the Commodore 64. So, here we go. Boom. It's Ghostbusters, the Mega Cartridge. Dun, 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 dun. Can't do any more, otherwise I'll get freaking tagged. Anyway, oop, there it is with a manual. Yet again in 2 colors. What is up with that? Interesting, because this system came out fairly well after the crash, so you'd think they were back to decent production qualities. But anyway, here we go. Looks a lot. It actually looks quite a bit better than the Commodore 64 version, in my opinion. That's a nice looking version. And focus, there we go. Starting your own Ghostbusters business is tough. It takes a lot of money, a lot of equipment, and lots of hard work, but someone's got to do it. Besides, look at the rewards. You get to drive some of the world's hottest cars and play with the latest high-tech equipment, like super ion beams, laser containment, laser confinement systems, and image intensifiers. You get to get closer than anyone's ever been to the ominous Marshmallow Man. And best of all, if you're lucky, you'll meet face to face with the ghost leader of the universe, Gorza. Huh. So if you're tired of your regular old job, why not sign on as a Ghostbuster and find out what a real job is? Well, nowhere better to end than here. So there it is, my Sega Master System collection for 2021. Wow. Feels weird saying that. Anyway, what do you think? Anything I'm missing that's super important and I definitely should have? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in a couple days with the Ardo Boy.